Let me tell you a story for the next 30 minutes about the history of Make.com. Just kidding. Okay, that was a joke, guys. I'm just kidding. No more stories, no more explanations under the hood. Let's start building. I got you there, right? I hope I got you there. Please, please don't get nervous. Let's get started. So the first thing I want you to do is finally click on that button, on this button, which is basically our initial module. Remember, everything we build, every piece of the scenario is a module that's going to encapsulate whatever we want it to. And this is the beauty of Make.com as opposed to programming ourselves, is that we have a lot of already integrated tools and modules that all we have to do is search for, and then we can see them in action. So the very first one, remember, if we go back to our design, back into the design, if you look at that, if you go back up and you take a look at the design we looked at, is what? It's the researcher. Remember that we want to have a researcher that's going to find some information, research the topics, find some relevant, modern, fresh information that then our social media brain can analyze. So we're going to use a search engine, essentially an AI-powered search engine called Perplexity. And if you check, you should see Perplexity AI. Mine is verified, but yours will not be verified yet because you need to basically create a connection with Perplexity. But before we do that, just click on it for now. And just so we're aware what it is, it's really interesting because Perplexity AI, it's this search engine that has context-aware answers to user queries. So what that means is that it can leverage real-time web search and AI-generated responses. So Google can't even do this, or ChatGPT now has some integration for it. But we're going to use Perplexity because it's designed for this. And what you want to do is if you click on your connections, you see how I have these Perplexity connections? You don't have that yet. So you want to go back to your scenario, go to your new scenario that we're working on here. And notice now we could actually change the name. I want you to change this name and call it Social Media AI Manager. Something like that. Okay. So go back to this plus. I want you to go back to Perplexity, search for Perplexity AI, and then make the connection. Now, when you go to do this, I can even show you if I right-click. I'm going to add it. For the connection itself, you need to have an API key. The API key is what connects you to the API, which is basically the interface of the engine that we can then use in order to run our queries. So what you want to do is get the API key. So in order to get it, you need to go to Perplexity AI. So you can search it in Google or just go to perplexity.ai. Make an account. Once you've made your account, at the bottom you're going to see settings. And if you go to settings, you should be able to switch to API. We're going to be making a few APIs in this course. And you need to put in a couple dollars to get them working, but you could do a ton of calls. Like the minimum amount for this is $3. So I encourage you to pause the video, make the account, and top it off with $3. Once you top it off and you have $3 of credit, which is the minimum, which will be plenty. It's going to be plenty. Look, I topped this off a while ago. I'm still at 287. But then you'll be able to generate a key. So pause the video, top up the account with $3, get an API key. Once you get the API key, I want you to copy the key, then go back to your make and paste in the key and save and make the connection. And then you're going to see this. So pause the video, get all that done, and then I'll see you when it's unpaused. Okay, so I'm assuming that now you've set up your key, and if you go back to your connections, you should see that it's verified. So before we do that, don't forget to save. So we're going to save even though the module is not set up. We'll go to connections, make sure we save the changes, save anyway. And then you should now see your Perplexity, and if you go back to scenarios, you should now see Social Media AI Manager, and if you click on it, you should then see Perplexity AI. And if we click on that, we open back to our scenario UI. From here, we can actually now use Perplexity AI. Now, that may have seemed like a few steps, but for those of you who are programmers, The amount of work that happened under the hood is incredible. Guys, we are connected to Perplexity AI, one of the most powerful AI-powered search engines in the world. With just a few clicks, we didn't have to write any code to authorize, to build, to set up our tokens, our temperature, our defaults. We're going to take a look at this in the next lesson. Let's just stop here, take an easy win. And in the next lesson, let's actually test Perplexity AI, see how it works together. And from there, we'll actually be able to connect our researcher, get it running, and start looking at the next step, which is the brain. So very exciting stuff. We've got brains coming up. I'll see you there, guys. Bye for now.